Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Issues and Attitudes here on HitMix 88.9 WEIU Charleston. I'm Rob Calhoun, filling in for Jeff Owens today. Glad to have you with us here on this Monday morning, the first Monday of June. And now with us now, the Mayor of Charleston, Dr. Brandon Combs. And good morning, Brandon. How are you doing this morning? Or this afternoon?
Good afternoon. Yeah, no, I'm doing excellent. How are you, Rob?
Doing pretty good as well. Let's go ahead. What's that?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay, great.
A lot of coronavirus cases have been in the county, and one of them has been at one of our nursing homes here in Charleston. What would you say to the residents, family, and staff at the Charleston Healthcare and Rehabilitation Center?
You know, honestly, you know me pretty well, Rob, but my heart goes out to all the workers there that were, putting their lives on the line, their families' lives on the line, and I just thank the good Lord for them and for all that they were able to do, and for the people that lost loved ones. That's extremely heartbreaking. One of them was extremely close to me, and I know it was close to WEIU with Jana's mother, and that was tough because it really did hit home, and to see the outbreak in that facility, and being here in Charleston, and there was multiple people that I know that are in there and that work there, and what else can I say? It's just extremely heartbreaking for them and their families, and and their loved ones, and just friends, and it was tough. It was a tough thing, not just for me, but it was a tough thing for our first responders, and just our town in general.
Last week, you issued an executive order regarding outdoor dining. What did the order entail?
So basically, what I did, Rob, was they allowed for bars and restaurants and stuff to open with outdoor seating. Well, not every restaurant in town has outdoor seating, and not every bar in town has outdoor seating. And, they've suffered enough through the last 2.5, 3 months. And so myself, city planner Steve Pamperin, got together with our lawyers, and then our city manager Scott Smith helped, our fire chief and police chief, and we got together, and they had my back in rolling back certain guidelines to allow for outdoor seating. I don't know if you went around the square, but we blocked off areas of the square. We allowed certain alleyways to be blocked off, like at Ike's, that alleyway between Ike's got to be blocked off. And, I will say that I got up early Friday, and I went around to every place that was opening, and along with our city planner, Steve Pamperin, and then our code official, Alex Winkler, and then Chief Reed was doing it too, to ask if there's anything we could do. And, it's another community thing where MC Concrete here in town got a hold of our public works director and said any big barricades that we needed to block anything off, they were going to donate them for however long we needed them. And if you drove around town and saw those big blocks that were blocking things off, that was for people's safety and to allow them to have their outdoor seating that's in compliance with Illinois Department of Public Health, the IDPH, their guidelines for outdoor seating. And, it went over really well. I know city officials and myself, we got a lot of thank yous for allowing that. And when I met with a couple people and said we'd block off streets and alleyways to help them out, to one, just let people get out, and it was a beautiful weekend for it, to get out and eat out with their families, to still stay safe. I think that was a big step in the right direction to help these businesses out, and to just help people get out, because they've been cooped up for so long, or getting takeout or delivery. And it was just such an amazing thing to see the community coming together, our city people out working, and just everything. It made my heart happy to see all that. And for the most part, everyone complied, and they did what we asked. And if they had any questions, I gave them all my cell phone number to where they could call me if something bad was going on or they needed help. And, like I said, for the most part, I mean, everything went over really smoothly. And it was Friday was just an extremely happy and glorious day after everything that we had been going through over the last couple 3 months.
As a small business owner yourself, I know you know the difficulties during this time. What advice do you have for our business owners?
Well, from the city standpoint, we have your back. Obviously there's certain guidelines that we have to follow. And I get the question, well, why don't you just open everything up? It's just not that easy. And there's some political things that can stand in the way. And I'm not going to get into those. But by me signing that executive order was my way of showing our businesses that, hey, the City of Charleston is business friendly. We have your back in all this, and we want to see you come back and do as well as you can. Because I know what it did to my business, not necessarily on the chiropractic side, because I got to stay open, but I still saw less than half the normal people that I see. But, I had, as you know, I had to shut down in my spa, and I got 5 girls working for me, and they were unable to work that whole time. And then, it put a dent. I will say, my heart and sincerely goes out to the businesses because I felt it straight up myself. So I know how detrimental this has been to businesses. And that's why, after meeting with city leaders and our lawyers and saying, hey, I want to do something to help these out, everyone stood behind me, and I couldn't have done it alone. Without even the public works people that were out with their backhoes and everything else, delivering these blocks, setting them up where people wanted them, donating, people from town donating tables to these places. And it was just great. But it wasn't, I got to sit up there and sign that executive order, but really, I want a lot of credit and thank you to go out to our city manager, our city planner, Alex, the coding official, and their department, and our police and fire and public works department and utility department for spending all day Friday going out there to make sure that these businesses had every single thing that they needed to open up safely. And I want to commend all the businesses that did it and did it the right way and followed the guidelines, and we're still trying to keep people safe. It just showed just how strong our community is and what it's like when we all come together in tough times. And, in the city, we definitely have their back.
It was announced today that the Charleston Mattoon fireworks celebrations has been postponed. What was the decision process behind that?
It was a large meeting, multiple people involved, and we just want to make sure once again that the safety of the people is taken into consideration. That's our first and foremost. So it has been canceled for the 4th of July. We know Red, White, and Blue Days are, but then we pushed it back to go along with the air show. So there still will be fireworks. It's just going to be in August as opposed to on the 4th of July, which is upsetting, but we'll still go ahead and go on and have fireworks at the appropriate time.
Many cities have been seeing rioting and looting recently. Yesterday, Charleston had a peaceful protest. What were your thoughts on the peaceful protest here, and how can Charleston be a welcoming place to be for all races?
Well, what I saw yesterday, they took it upon themselves to talk with our police chief, and they were extremely peaceful. They did what their rights are to go out and to protest their feelings and things like that. And I don't have anything, against that. And from the mayor's standpoint and from, our police, we don't have a problem with that either. Obviously the rioting and things like that, we are blessed that didn't happen here, and they held themselves in a very good manner. They, did their peaceful protest, didn't cause any issues, and that was fantastic. And as far as race, it's like I teach my own kids, we don't see color. We see heart. And with Charleston having the university and us having a wide array of nationalities and everything else here, I don't know how many times since I've been mayor since I teach at EIU too, how many students have said that Charleston is a very welcoming community and that they feel safe and and they're glad that they're able to come to school here and feel safe. And some may feel a little bit differently about things, but we've taken a lot of steps to make sure that not only our citizens are safe, but that our cops are safe. And we have body cams now, we have dash cams. We do everything we can to make sure that our cops and our citizens are safe, and that nothing can be done without it being placed on video. And I think that was a huge step when we got these cameras. But I do a lot of ride-alongs with our officers, and the way that they handle everything, I stand by them 100%. They have been so good, and they understand the tension, and honestly, they are there to help, whether it doesn't make a difference what race you are. They're there to help, and that's what I want to get across, is that our department is extremely open and understanding, and do anything and everything they can to make people feel safe and to make people feel welcome. And that's not just CPD, but that goes along with Chief Martin and UPD too, and then Dr. Glassman as well. Our community is very unique, in my opinion, and because we are so unique, to see the kind of love and compassion and understanding that has came out due to this very unfortunate time, it's hard to see what's went around. But I'm proud to see that they were able to protest their feelings and get it out and do it in a positive manner and not cause any undue harm to themselves or anyone else or any businesses or buildings. And our officers, they were there. If they needed anything, they knew that our officers were gonna be there for them. So we just wanted them to be able to do what they wanted to do, and we wanted them to be safe, and everything just to go off smoothly, and it did. It really, really did.
I know the City Council has still been meeting. What procedures have been in place for doing so?
Right now, myself, I'm the only one that's out at council chambers. Myself, city manager, city attorney, our clerk, and then a few of our directors, fire chief, police chief, public works director, comptroller, city planner. They're all up there as well, but we have allowed council to just call in and do our meetings that way. So that has been a little bit of a change, but it's for people's safety. And then if people have questions or anything for me, we videotape all of our council meetings, and they can get their questions in to our city clerk, and then the questions get relayed to me, and then I can answer them to the best of my ability, and council can, so things are still business as usual. We're doing everything we can to keep the city running as smoothly as possible during this time. and making sure that everything is going according to plan. It's a little bit different, but we're still up and running as usual, and still having all of our meetings and doing what we can.
What's the progress to the work on City Hall and the police department?
Oh, it's going to be great. The police department is needed to be redone for a long time, and what we've been able to do up there is going to be great, not only for our officers but for our community as well. The waiting area there was outdated, and there was so many things up there that just weren't safe. The building needed a lot of work, and now the way that it's all set up, it's going to be so much easier for people to walk into the police department if they have an issue, talk to an officer in private, not have to be seen, and be able to talk to an officer in confidence and everything else. I think it's just, if anything else, it's going to make our police department and the girls that work up front and everything run a lot more efficiently, safely, and when I say safely for everybody up there. Like I said, the people that want to come in and talk to an officer, file a complaint, or just get answers and everything else, it's going to help streamline a lot of the things that have been difficult for so many years up there. This thing needed to be done so long ago. Our past police chief, Baker, was like, "Oh, that's no fair. I didn't have that when I was there," but we didn't have the funds or the things going on, and it just got bad enough that it needed to be redone, and this has been something that we wanted to do for quite a while.
This is Issues and Attitudes. We're on the phone with Dr. Brandon Combs, the mayor of Charleston, and city crews have been working on sidewalk repair along Lincoln Avenue. How's that going?
Well, that's not necessarily. City crews have been out working on different streets. That right there is coming from Howell Asphalt. That's a state contract, and it's a blessing to see it finally get done. I worked at Sitco there on 9th and Lincoln when I went to Eastern for 4 years, and I remember the last time they did that was when I graduated high school and started working there in '99. And I've spoken to the Howell Asphalt group, and things seem to be going good. They've had, for the most part, decent weather, and I think they're even ahead of schedule. So that's a great thing. And now we'll be able to ride down Lincoln and take a drink of our coffee in the morning or whatever else without spilling it on us or hitting a pothole or whatever else. So it's going to be great. And the decorative signs that we're going to have, and the things that we're going to do around the main fairways or intersections to Eastern with the decorative lighting and everything else, it's really going to make it look nice. And we have more plans for the future, but once again, that all takes money, and especially right now with the COVID-19, we're watching our budget even closely, and some of the things that we wanted to be able to do, we might have to put off a year or so, but we'll just all see how this shakes out. But I mean, when this is all said and done, it's really gonna make Lincoln Avenue look so much better, easier, better to drive down, more handicap, ADA accessible sidewalks, and it was just so needed.
When is the state planning to resurface Lincoln Avenue?
I don't know the exact date, but it's going to come sooner than what they had anticipated, unless weather starts turning bad or something. But like I said, some of the people that I've been able to talk to said that they are running ahead of schedule, and hopefully within the next week or so, I don't quote me on this, but I think that within the next week or so, they'll be able to start milling off the old asphalt and then slowly start to repaving. So
we're in stage 3 of the Restore Illinois plan right now. When can the city parks playgrounds reopen?
I don't know the exact date on that. That would be a question for Brian Jones and our city manager. Quite honestly, I have so many other things on my plate. I leave certain areas up to them to keep me informed on. And as of right now, I haven't heard an exact date on when we'll be able to. I don't know, because things are so fluid with this, and they change every day. And if numbers continue to decrease and everything else, the governor could, as far as I know, he can turn around and say, hey, we're not going to wait the 28 days. Things are looking good. Go ahead and open up now, the parks and this and that. So right now we're just following his plans for the reopening of things that he's going to allow. And if he allows anything sooner, rest assured we're going to go ahead and do that. I know that some kids and some families are itching, but we've been out to the lake multiple times, and man, the improvements to the lake have been a godsend during this time, because that lake it was utilized a lot more, or a lot before this, but now it's become almost an essential part of our community, more so than ever, due to the fact that people were able to still get out and walk around the lake and fish and boat and, be outside and not have to be cooped up at home all the time.
I know another thing that people are really excited about is the Lincoln Prairie Trail between Mattoon and Charleston getting paved.
Oh my gosh, yes, that's going to be so nice. I mean, that right there, it's been a long time coming. I got to give a shout out to Steve Pamperin, our city planner Steve Pamperin, his group, Brendan Lynch, Greg Culp, and the people at Public Works Department, Kurt Busher and Chad Isley, and the guys that are working so hard and diligently to get this stuff done and to get it looking nice. I don't know if you've been out by there and seen the new parking lots that we've already put in, and now that it's going to get paved, I have people, not on a daily basis, but at least, every few days saying they cannot wait for that to get done. That's going to be just another asset. And basically, someone could get on a train in Chicago, come down to Mattoon, get on the bike trail, ride all the way over to Charleston, go through our trails and whatever else, and then if they wanted to, hop back on the train and go home that evening, or stick around here, stay the night, eat at different places around here, and here, Mattoon, or whatever else, and it's just gonna be a big benefit for the community, but it's also a big draw. And we've seen how many people from other states have come through here just because of what we've been able to do with the trails, and now this is just another added bonus to all of that.
I know Jeff would want me to ask this, and he always asks you this every time. Are there any new businesses coming into town, or anyone looking to start a new business in town?
Well, right now, with the COVID thing, we still, our planning department and myself and city manager are still in contact with people, but people are unsure right now about different things, so it may slow some of the progress that we had going with different businesses. It may slow it down a little bit, but all in all, I think as everything starts getting back to normal, we'll see these businesses go ahead and start to work and open up. And no, I would love to say, because it makes me happy and excited, but there's several projects that are in the works, and they just got slowed up a little bit due to this, but we still kept in touch with the businesses and with the owners or the investors of these businesses and whatnot to let them know that even though we're going through this time, we're still here to help them out for whenever they're ready.
Got about 30 seconds left. Anything quickly you want to say to the community?
Just what I've said multiple times, but to get it out there on the radio, and I'll do this without getting emotional, but I'm very proud of our community. Man, the support that they have shown myself and some of our departments, some of the cards that I've received from people that I've never met, the calls, the emails, saying that they're thinking of me, they're praying for me, they're praying for the city. I mean, to all those people out there that are listening that have done things like that, you really don't know what that means to us, because I can assure you that many of us have lost a lot of sleep. I know personally it's taken a toll on my lovely wife and my kids, because Daddy is constantly working on things, or gone, or on the phone, or meeting with people, and the support and seeing Charleston come together in the way that it has. It just reiterates why I say this is one of the best towns, which we've been rated one of the best towns to live in, best communities to live in, and even the Eastern, even the people from Eastern, different workers or professors, or that have reached out to me, or just sent me an uplifting email or text. That's what's kept us going.